My dad kept changing the locks on the family home, thinking I'd never try to come back. So I moved out at 18 after a huge fight about my life choices. Dad made it clear I wasn't welcome anymore. Fine by me. I got my own apartment across town and built my life from scratch. But here's the thing. I still had a key to the shed where Dad keeps all his important documents. Birth certificates, insurance papers, the works. He never thought to change that lock. For 2 years, Dad would change the house locks every few months. New deadbolts, new door handles, the whole 9 yards. My sister would text me photos like, Dad's at Home Depot again. He'd installed some fancy smart lock system, then switched to triple deadbolts, then back to electronic keypads. Guy was obsessed. What made it even more ridiculous was how he'd announce each lock change to the family. He'd call my sister and be like, just upgraded the security again. Can't be too careful these days. Always with this smug tone, like he was protecting Fort Knox instead of a 3-bedroom ranch house. Meanwhile, I'm checking the shed every few weeks, just out of curiosity at first. Dad was meticulous about filing everything, which turned out to be his biggest mistake. What I discovered was a complete financial disaster brewing in slow motion. The gambling started small. Lottery tickets, scratch-offs, maybe a weekend trip to the casino. But the bank statements told a different story. Cash advances on credit cards, payday loans, money transfers to offshore betting sites I'd never heard of. By month 6, I'm looking at $80,000 in debt across 14 different accounts. Then came the insurance claims. A stolen lawnmower that was actually in the garage. A damaged roof that looked perfectly fine. Water damage in the basement that coincidentally happened right after Dad installed a new sump pump. Each claim filed with different companies, always just under the investigation threshold. The real bombshell was in a manila folder marked Legal Confidential. Divorce papers my mom had never seen. Dad was planning to leave her and had been systematically transferring assets to accounts she didn't know about. The house deed, their joint savings, even my mom's car registration. Everything was being quietly moved into his name only. What Dad didn't know was that I'd been quietly making copies of every document in that shed. Bank statements showing his gambling debts, insurance claims he'd inflated, even found correspondence with his lawyer about hiding assets during my parents' divorce. I started taking photos of everything with my phone, creating a digital trail of Dad's secret financial life. The shed visits became a monthly routine. New locks on the house, same old padlock on the shed. It was almost comical how paranoid he was about the wrong things. The genius part? Dad kept telling everyone I was a deadbeat who'd never amount to anything. At family gatherings, he'd go on about how some kids just can't handle responsibility. He'd make these passive-aggressive comments about kids these days not understanding the value of hard work or family loyalty. My sister would defend me sometimes, but Dad had this way of twisting everything. When I got promoted at work, he'd say I probably exaggerated my role. When I moved to a nicer apartment, he'd wonder out loud how I could afford it on my salary. He was painting this picture of me as financially irresponsible while he was literally gambling away the family home. The lock changes became more frequent as time went on. Dad would change them after family dinners, like he was worried someone might try to sneak in. He installed security cameras, motion sensors, even got one of those doorbell cameras that sends alerts to your phone. All this high-tech security for a house that was about to be foreclosed on. What really got to me was how he treated my mom during all this. She had no idea about the debt, the gambling, or the divorce papers. She'd mentioned wanting to refinance the house or plan a vacation, and Dad would make excuses about market timing or cash flow issues. She thought they were being responsible and saving money. Last month was my grandmother's 80th birthday. Big family dinner at the house. Dad starts his usual speech about hard work and family values, then looks at my empty chair and says, "It's a shame when people choose to abandon their family." That's when I walked in through the front door with my new key, the one the bank gave me when I bought the house at foreclosure auction. Dad went white. Turns out all those lock changes couldn't protect him from losing the house to his own debts. My sister nearly choked on her wine. "Wait, you own this place now?" I smiled. "Happy birthday, Grandma. Hope you don't mind I let myself in."